Hi folks, today in this particular video we will be going to discuss about the clean code chapter 6, and in this particular video we will be understanding a lot of things. First we'll just shift to trailer. Is your code is your code mess? Are you haunting your project? In today's video we will be uncovering the key to writing clean code, maintainable code by diving into the chapter 6 of clean code. By end of this video, you will know how to structure your objects. Okay, how you can structure your objects data as your code stays clean and easy to manage. Let's get started. You might be asking why should I watch this particular video, right? So whom to watch this particular video? Who is a beginner who is trying to write a better code, write a better software, try to building a better software, or try to building any kind of a IT kind of building a softwares who are into that field, they can watch this video. Okay, so who is a beginner who wanted to enhance their coding skills to have a better structure in their code base so that they can watch this particular video. Why you should watch? Let's suppose you are feeling lost in your own code, right? So you wanted to learn these principles that will so that you think that will avoid the frustration and building the more cleaner code and maintainable building the more maintainable software, right? So this is what why you should watch this particular. Okay, so first thing is you are feeling lost in your own code base. You wanted to learn these principles so that it helps you to uh, avoids frustration to go through your code, try to mess up with your code. Yesterday you written some code, you didn't understand what is that code base is doing. So you have to build a cleaner code and you have to build a maintainable software. Okay, you understood why you need to watch this particular video, and in the next part we'll be going to understand what we'll be going to discover, what we'll be going to understand, what we'll be going to cover in this particular whole video. In this video, we will break down the chapter 6 of Clean Code that is written by the Robert C. Martin favorite book, and in the simpler terms that even beginners can understand. Here's what we are going to cover. First, we'll be going to dive into the data abstraction. What's why the hiding details of the data matters, and that helps keep your code flexible. And number two, there is a data and object anti-symmetry. What is this particular thing we'll talk about is the key differences about the objects in the data structures and how affects your code. Then we will be going to discuss about law of Demeter. How to avoid this infamous trend wreck in your code. Okay, we'll be going to dive into the details. Then we'll be going to discuss about real world use cases. We'll look at the examples of popular real world apps like Zapier, Money. Okay, so how you can apply these principles in real world use cases or in your own projects, I will be going to show you. Then later that we'll be going to discuss about what is a bad way of example, bad way of writing, and how we can refactor into the good way. Okay, so this is what we will be going to discuss in this particular video. So with respect to the Python and JavaScript, we'll be going to discuss about, and we'll be going to take the several code examples so that you will understand very later into the details. Okay, so how we can refactor it, what are the kind of the things that we'll be going to do it, so we'll be going to uh, see in this particular video. Let's get started to the straight to the point. One is the data abstraction. So first up is the data abstraction. This sounds fancy, right? Like, but it's really just about the one thing, hiding the details. Hiding the details basically means? Hiding the details means is exactly how the data is stored, how the data is calculated. That details we are uh, hiding basically, and how you can change it without breaking it. That functionality we are hiding. How the data is getting stored, how it is without breaking the functionality we are doing. So understand this concept. You have to take an example for yourself. Create a simple example. Create a simple class. Okay, create a simple class. Have a task activity. So there is a simple functionality. You have to create a class uh, with the name called point, which demonstrates in Python exposing its coordinates. Would you do it? Just pause this particular video. Just give a challenge to yourself. How you will be constructing this class. We'll be not thinking about bad code or good code. First write the code stuff. Now try to think what, like, we only solved the problem here. But what is a common problem you are understanding from this particular code, right? So first problem, what I am able to understand is we are exposing the internal details of the point. See, we are giving the access, like this variable is there, we are exposing those details. Okay, if you want to change how we store data, we'll break every part of a code that uses it X and Y directly. So instead of that, how we can reflect it, think of it, think. So how we can do this particular? So how we can refactor this particular code? Pause this particular video. Try to write in your own language how we can refactor this particular code. Another thing what I am able to understand is we are accessing. We can give some of the private properties here, underscore x, something like that, right? Underscore x equal to x. This is a one particular problem we can rectify it. And underscore y equal to y. Okay. So this one particular thing we can do it. And another thing is here what I found is while printing we are accessing this object and we are accessing this particular variable. Why can't we have another method? Okay, class methods. Def get coordinates. Can we not initialize that and call that particular object basically point got get coordinates, right? So we can get all the details about it, right? Get coordinates means we will get the coordinates of each particular attribute and we'll get the all the printed details or all those details over here, right? We point dot get coordinates means each and every x variable, y variable we will going to get it. So like this we can refactor it into the good code. By using a method to access this data, we can change the internal workings of the point, right? Without affecting the code, all right, that uses it. This is what the power of data abstraction basically. So we'll try to understand another day. We can take an example for a JavaScript. So be still there. Okay. So we'll try to understand how we can do in the case of JavaScript. So let's think about it. Same example. So we'll be going to write for JavaScript. Now take a understanding of a JavaScript code and try to have it. The core philosophy of data abstraction is the same. Whenever you change a programming language or anything, way of talking with the programs will be different, but the concept will be remain the same, right? All right. So we took the example of a point. We initialize the constructor, and we are just accessing that using these objects, right? We are just trying to access directly by telling that this is my variable. Okay, you do this changes in the constructor, initialize it. So what internal working is getting changed, right? So instead of that, what we can do, as I told earlier, we can have a private member access, private access this dot underscore x underscore y, and we can have some another methods like get coordinates. So what it will be going to do, it will be going to return this particular accesses directly using this inside the member variables. So whenever you create objects, you will just using this objects, you are calling this particular method. In that method, will be going to initialize that object and it will even return into you. Right. This is what the better way of writing a code, right? Think about it, pause this particular video, understand this particular concept all about. Okay, I hope this makes sense about this particular concept. We'll be going to understand next concept now. Okay, let's get started with understanding data and objects anti-symmetry. Objects, whenever we are talking about data and objects anti-symmetry, understand one thing, we are talking about the objects and the data structures, which is opposites. Object, what it will do, it will hide their data and expose the behavior. Understand these two things, these two terms is very important. Object hide their data and expose the behavior through methods. Okay. Data structures expose their data directly but don't have significant behavior. Okay. So let me summarize this particular thing as objects expose, objects hides their data. Object, what it will do, hides data and expose the behavior, expose behavior. Okay, then data structure, what it will be going to do is basically it will hide the behavior and expose the data. Okay, data structure, understand, expose the data, right? Data structure, what it will do, it will expose the data, and hides the behavior. So these two things you have to understand when we are talking about the data and objects anti-symmetry. Okay, so let's get dive into to understand their difference. This will help you to design the system better. So we'll take one particular example. What you have to do, the task is you have to create a class called design for a shapes for a drawing app. Okay, you have to, for a drawing app, you have to design a system for shapes. So what I will be going to lay down is one foundation. Okay, how will be going to write it the code? So I will just write the flow basically. Okay, so what you will be going to write? Basically, as a beginner, if you don't know the clean code principles, how you will be writing the code, and after applying this particular principle, how you can refactor it, I will be going to tell you that. Okay, so let's get started about it. So I will just tell you the flow. I will be not writing the code, so it will avoid my time and explaining you a lot of things about it. Okay, so let's say you are designing the shapes. You are telling that square. Okay, then you are initializing the constructor. Just understand this jargon words, folks, yeah, as we have discussed earlier itself. Okay, so we are writing the constructor where we are telling that this is my constructor A and this is my side. Okay, so this is what I will be going to do it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about the square. Okay, so we will be going to understand whether it is good or bad. So another shape called rectangle. In that rectangle, what I will be going to do is I will be initializing the constructor same, but I will be going to write it as like width and height. All right. So this is what I will be going to do it. So that will be returning the shape. Then I will be going to write it as a area. I will be going to check whether it is an instance of this shape or square. There is a shape is a square or rectangle. So I will be going to look at it. So in the area I will be going to decide. Okay, so this is what the thing is all about. So area will be common for both. So I will be going to check it whether it is a shape, whether it is a rectangle, whether it is a square. Okay, okay, is an instance of a square. So it will be written in the shape basically. If it is not, so we will be going to have the computation of width and height basically. So this is what the overall you will be going to do. If you are not knowing this clean code principles, and you will be going to create an object and creating the those of things. So what you understood from this, all the understanding of it, all the logic is centralized in one function, right? If we add a new shape like a circle, we will have to update whole functionality itself. We are able to understand, right? So we are adding a new shape called circle, we are taking new design shape, we have to update area function. Whenever the new requirement came, we have to update that functionality, right? So it is avoiding the clean code principles. This is what clean code principles which is violating the clean code principles, right? So 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 how we can write this particularly is we can have it like common functionality called area, right? So we have a area function in the shape as well. Square in the area is also the common. So only the things we are just going to change the parameters, right? Additional functionality we have in the square. We have a area called side into side, like equal sides. We have to square it, right? So so this is what we will going to do. For the rectangle, what we'll be having? We will be having only the constructor where the parameters will be the width and height. Area will be the width and height. So we can access without changing the common functionality, right? The parameters are different, but the main function will be going to doing the one thing, one activity. So this is what we'll be going to do. So in this, what refactoring, what I told right now. So what this particular thing? Every shape takes care of calculating its own area. So here, what the single responsibility principle comes in. So as principle you have heard about, right? Zapier principle. So solid of S I am talking about here. Why? Because one shape is responsible of doing one thing, not multiple things it should do. So consider it as like as a person, you cannot do the multitasking. You can do focus on only one thing. So let's say you wanted to watch a music, you wanted to watch a movie as well. That is not possible. Okay, so you will focus on only one movie, but you can do multiple things. But this will be not like you will be not understanding what you are going to do. So this is what I am trying to convey here. So let's get dive into the another principle, folks. Now we'll be going to understand about the law of Demeter. What law of Demeter says, try to understand very carefully. Okay, what this particular thing is all about. This law of Demeter says that you should only talk with immediate friends, not to friends of friends. This means avoiding the long chains. So take in simple scenario of office. Okay, something the client has given the requirement. So you are a front end developer, you will be going to focus with your teammates, right? You will be not focusing your friends or friend which is who is the engineer in another company. You will be talking with them, right? So understand with the simple scenario, you will be going to talk with the immediate colleagues, so who will be going to explain you better understanding about the system, right? So typical example is, let's take an example of uh, uh, let's understand the simple example of bad way of having a change long change. This is a hardcore directory. So what you will be going to do, you will be writing context dot get option dot get get scratch dir, get scratch dir, get absolute path. These are the things. Is like this is what the thing. It's like long chain. You are doing multiple things here, multiple things. You are calling this guy to that guy to this guy. This is not should be happen. This law of Demeter. You are doing so many things. You are calling friends of friends, friends of friends, friends of friends. But this is not should it should not happen. So that is what the this bad way of writing the code. This is a classical train wreck problem. Train wreck problem. What it will be going to tell that one method keeps reaching deeper and deeper into an object structure. One function has to go to the deeper into get details into get details. Okay, so this is what I need to say about the law of Demeter. So how can we refactor this kind of a problem? So we can have like get options. Okay, so let's suppose you wanted to get an options. So options of that. So you wanted to get the permission of the directory. So you will be going to give the permissions. When the user gives the permission, ctxt context.get options. Right after uh, he is giving the permission, he will be getting the dialog box. Uh, we are using this particular permission file and storage permission. So this will be going to happen. Right. So another thing is like get scratch di, get di, right? So after that, you will be going to access the particular location to share that directory, right? After that, share the location, share the path, select the path, right? Then you will get the path, right? After that path, you will be going to send to someone, right? This is the what usual process of like this clean code is going to talk about. Do one thing at a time. Don't do multiple things. Okay, step by step approach this particular problem. Don't do everything in the one line of a code. So it is talking with friends of friends basically. So this is what all about the law of Demeter is talking about. So now let's get dive into the next topic. So we'll be going to understand about the use case in the next video. This video is a little bit more long. So we'll be going to discuss in the next video about how we can apply this particular use cases, examples, whatever we discussed today. So in the next video, we'll be expecting about how we can apply this particular principle. Be stay tuned. So this kind of a principles is very important in the industry when we wanted to become a better software engineer. Okay. So this is all about the principles is all about. Comment down below what kind of a things you like, what kind of a things you don't like. Just put into the comment section so I'll get to know about what kind of videos you like, a lot of things. Uh, keep subscribing, keep subscribing to my channel so you will get a lot more content and updates regarding the writing the better code, writing better architecture, all the things about this in this particular channel you will be going to get it.